Hi, Deborah Pegues here. I'm an author and relationship strategist. I've helped tens of thousands of people to confront and resolve their inevitable interpersonal conflicts that they encounter at work, at play, or even in social situations. What I've learned is that effective communication is the oxygen in every relationship. And to that end, we're going to learn how to do that if we want our relationships to thrive and survive. Most of us erroneously assume that when we send a message, that's the message sent is the message that is received. Not true. I want to give you an example. Here's a package that I plan to mail from my post office. And the problem is this letter has the name of the person, the street address, but there's no city. And there are only 2 digits to the zip code. Now, I can erroneously assume that if I send this, it will get there. But I can't because the address is improper. And so it is in our communicating with others. We're going to have to address our communication properly. You see, as part of effective communication, we must be conscious of the fact that there are really 3 components to getting an effective message across: words, tone, and body language. Now, interestingly enough, the words only account for 7%. Can you believe that? 7%, whereas tone accounts for 38% of the effectiveness of the message, and body language accounts for 55%. If you're telling me something and that says I'm defensive, I'm not open to your input, so we got to watch that body language. And just let me give you an example. Just last week, I had an encounter with a relative whom I had entrusted a vintage car. And someone called me from that state where the car is and said, your relative is parking that car at a place where there's illegal activity, as in drugs. And rather than calling him and trying to get a full understanding that it was true, the minute he picked up the phone, I said, stop parking that car at that kind of a place. You're going to get that car confiscated. Well, I didn't even give him a chance to explain. My tone was very accusatory. Needless to say, the message that I sent was not the message that he received, because the message that he received was, despite the fact that I know you're trying to clean up your life, I think you're still involved in that illegal activity as well. So, needless to say, it didn't go over very well, and we didn't end the conversation on a high positive note. But you see, that's what we have to be conscious of, our tone when we are sending a message, especially a message that people don't really want to hear. So it's important then that we not only are accusatory, but we're going to have to learn how to not be judgmental. For instance, a statement such as, why in the world did you do that? I'm judging a person's character. And let me tell you, when you attack judgment, that always will derail a message. I also know that sometimes we can be condescending. For instance, we may say, everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. Well, that means except you, idiot. And so you want to make sure you don't make those kinds of statements because, again, it will derail your communication. So that's my challenge for you today. Learn how to be sensitive to your tone. Be very, very sensitive to your tone. Choose the right words, words that don't attack character, words that don't attack judgment. Just stay with the problem and not focusing on the person. That's a great challenge for you today. Go out there and get that message that you send. Make sure it's the message that is received.